All right, welcome everyone to another fantastic stream here in the Mountain Home. I'm the man, the myth, the legend, the dwarf himself, Horatius. Thank you all so very much for being here. Shove, Goliath, Mere Pebble, thank you all so very much for being here at the start of the stream. I'm going to regrettably just be super duper up front. We're probably going to take things a little bit slow to start off. Because once I start the lecture, we're going to be in it. And I want to give people a little bit of time to sort of file in and join us. So, the Dwarf Daddy himself. Hello, Cabal. Thank you so much for being here at the stream today. It's very nice to have another person in the chat. This is going to be, I hope, very insightful for a lot of people. I'm really looking forward to what we're going to get accomplished here today. So right now, just sort of vibing for a few minutes while we wait for people to pile in. We just played the trailer. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I've been really enjoying playing the trailer at the start of the stream. Hey, Iron Core. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Let's see here. There we go. Oh, geez, that's too big. Sorry, I'm setting up the main screen to prep to show the PowerPoint. It's a Google Slides, but it's basically a PowerPoint. Yeah, lecture time. Excited. Love me some good old content talk. Yes, I know you do, and I am eager to see your perspectives. But we're gonna vibe and chill for a couple of minutes. Couple minutes more while we wait for everybody else to arrive here at the stream. It's a very important stream. I know a lot of people were very excited about it. I'm very grateful for everyone to be here. So we're gonna hang out. We're gonna vibe for a few minutes while we wait for everyone else to show up. So first things first. Just a couple of little things that are down the pipe. This weekend, I'm going to be sending out the Google Form invitations to bring people on for the 12/14 stream. So hopefully, after a week or so, I'll have an idea of who's going to be on for the 12/14 stream. It'll be very exciting to commiserate and chill with a bunch of people that I've met over this past year. I'm really excited to have all the people on to play through the entirety of Dark Souls 1. Just all of the shit that we talked about on Tuesday in literally just under 2 weeks at this point, which I'm very excited about. So the 12/14 anniversary or stream-iversary / birthday stream is going to be huge. Thanks for being all hyped about that and donating your channel points to make me sing Diggy Diggy Hole on stream for that. That's going to be hilarious. I actually need to practice it because it looks like I'm going to definitely sing since I'm out of it. Did you really use that pic for your Twitch profile pic? Why the fuck would I not use one of the most beautiful pieces of artwork to represent myself on Twitter or for Twitch as well? It's amazing. I'm probably going to show it off at some point during this stream for people that are around because I think it's really wonderful, and you worked really hard on it, Cab, and I'm really touched that you put effort into that. I know that you're a man of your word. I definitely see that evidently, and I respect that. So we'll see how it goes. Let me see. So it does look really cool. I love the picture. It's great. Bro, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Awesome folks inspire awesome art. That's true, and I would definitely put that right back in your face. You're an awesome person, and you inspire a lot of people to be excellent, and that that to me is what content creation is all about. So Cab, I'm gonna gush at you a little bit. I hope that's cool. One of the reasons why I've gravitated towards you a lot recently is I see a bit of a... So, okay, I see myself as a facilitator. I have made it a bit of my life's purpose to facilitate other people to live their lives as best as they can. And that's been what this whole streaming thing has been for me for a while now. It's been a hobby that I can inspire people and interact with people and help them, improve the quality of their life, either through the entertainment that I provide or the insights that I diatribe. And I get a very similar vibe from like your goals as an entertainer, and I dig that. I dig that a lot. So, gonna give it just a couple more minutes. Like I said, guys, I really want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to get here because we're gonna cover the rules for today's lecture before we get into it. Hello, how's everyone doing? I'm doing great, Nubu. Welcome, welcome. You look very stunning in your Christmas present. Thanks, Ice Shadow. Cabal worked very hard on it. You guys should go check him out. Will this be on the test? Barbarian asks. Yes. The test is life. You wake up for it every single day, and you try to escape it by going to sleep every night. Yeah, it's going to be fucking kick-ass. Guys, retweet the stream. Oh my goodness. If you would, that would be rad. I will not ask you to do it. Because I don't know. I have a mental block when it comes to promoting myself. Anyway, thank you, Goliath. I should have saw that you did that. Wait, there's a test? I didn't study. You study every single day, and you wake up every single time. Falls asleep. Did I get an A+? I don't know, man. The grade that you have on your own life is, I think, only truly discerned by your own criticisms of how you live. Not to get, like, staunchly philosophical before I even get into the lecture, but yeah, I think how well you do in life is only you can grade that test result, So I got an F-. Well, then, what do you want to change, I would look inward, do some introspection, see what you feel like you need to change to improve your own personal grade. I know that I'm nervous for this stream, guys. You want to know how I know that I'm nervous? I made dessert coffee for myself. I made regular black coffee like I normally drink, and then I put Swiss Miss powder in it to make it sweet and creamy. And then I put oat milk in that to make it thick and creamy and tasty and unctuous. That's how I know I'm nervous for this stream. I almost always take my coffee black. I prefer it. I like to taste the coffee. Let's see here, you cute motherfucker. You're brave and important, and this topic heckin' matters to you. It does. I know I'll do fine. See, here's the thing. I love me, and I appreciate those words, Pebble. It really does mean a lot. You're a pretty rad fucking egg. In fact, if nobody knows who Mere Pebble is, go click on their username and then go follow them on Twitch real quick. It'd be a wicked sick prank. Okay. You swear to God? You can't swear to any gods here. No one cares. No gods, no king, only man. Alright. So, we're gonna, Okay, sorry, should I follow? Thank you. I appreciate it. Pranked him, dab. Alright, so let's talk about the rules of today's lecture, shall we? Because there are rules. No gods, no kings, no timelines. Hell yeah.
Barbarian 329 gave X100 of gold to the mountain horde. No gods, no kings, no timelines. No gods, no kings, no timelines.
That one actually works better with the repeat. I'm going to put that out there. This weekend I'm going to fix that. I'm going to fix the doofus that replied to your announcement. Man, I would love it. Honestly, Goliath, you know what I would like the most? I would love it the most if the person that disagreed with me on this topic when I posted that I was going to talk about it, like 2 weeks ago, I would love more than anything for them to come here, hear my perspective, see what I have to share, and then walk away with an improved perspective on the matter. Honestly, that would be the best thing to me. God damn it.
Goliath underscore
You
VT
only
gave X 150 of gold to the mountain horde.
unnecessary.
No gods, no kings, no time loops, no gods, no kings, no time loops.
You only have to give 20 bits for text to speech. Please don't give away all your money. Anyway, here are the rules for this lecture. I will be. Those are my last bits. Great. Well, thank you very much for them, Goliath. So the rules for the lecture are very, very simple. Like any other stream, I will be doing all of the talking. You said give 1,000 bits. You fucking won't. No, you fucking won't. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of talking. I'm probably, once I start the lecture, which is why I'm kind of getting this out now, once I start the lecture, I will be engaging with chat very minimally. One of the things that I enjoy the most about what I provide as an entertainer and as a broadcaster and all that is I like that I interact with chat a lot. I like that I, to my own detriment, in terms of the pacing of my stream, sometimes constantly interact with my chat. What I derive the most pleasure in this content creation situation is by interacting with you guys. And that's just what makes me the most happy. So that's why I do it a lot. That said, I'm going to be doing very little of that during the lecture. So that's why we're kind of hanging out, kind of why we're vibing right now. But when the lecture starts, I'm going to focus on the information that I have on screen. I'm going to stick to my bullet points and like actually lecture at you. That said, the streamer interacts with chat. How dare. Indeed, Cab. So, that's a lesson that you could actually learn, because I think that you just spend too gosh tongue much time talking to your chat. You're just such a lovely fella. Anyway, so for me, I'm going to stick to my channel, to my channel points. Fuck. I'm going to stick to my bullet points. I want you guys to engage in the chat. While I'm lecturing, I'm going to be reading chat, but I'm not going to be talking to it a lot. I'm not going to be regurgitating the things that you say and reacting to it, but I am going to read your points, and I'm going to try and incorporate the things that you guys are talking about into the lecture as we proceed. In addition, thank you, Golden Gabo. Thanks for the follow. I'm just realizing now that my chat is covering up my alert overlay, so that's great. I'll fix that. Anyway, so please interact in chat. Please say stuff in chat. Please ask questions in chat. There will be a Q&A section at the end of the lecture where we will directly back and forth, question and answer. If people come in late, it would be really cool of you, chat, if you see people coming in late asking questions or talking about topics that we discussed in a previous slide. If you would point them in that direction and remark that there will be a Q&A at the end, that would help me a lot. Just a little bit of micro modding would be kick-ass for this. So that said, let's get into it. Imagine like in your community, don't be Cab. Fucking Cab's awesome. Shut up. New interaction disgusting. If it's 2 minutes ago that it was discussed, there's a rewind 2 minutes button. Exactly. So we're going to do it. I'm going to have to fuss with my overlay a little bit, so just pardon the quick... Hear that, mates? We mods now. Alright, cool. Let's fucking do this. On studio mode, change my overlay. Bloop. Puts you nerds over there in the regular chat box. 'Twas a mistake? Maybe. We'll find out. Alright, so... Thank you all for coming. I deeply appreciate it. As I have mentioned before, my name is Horatius the Dwarf. I am a male Vtuber. I was assigned male at birth, and I identify male, have my whole life, probably will the rest of my life, but I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. So, let's begin the slideshow. You guys may have noticed there's a bunch of fucking tabs up here. Don't worry, we'll be checking out all of them as we move along. So, again, thank you all very, very much for coming to my lecture, where we will be discussing Vtubing, and that it is, in fact, for everyone. First of all, who am I and what is VTubing? I think that it's really, really valuable whenever anybody is offering a lecture or their perspective on any topic, that it's really important that they lay out their credentials, not to gloat and not to postulate on their perspective being more valid than anyone else's. But I think that especially giving your demographics and your experience with the topic is really, really important, because it helps everyone that you're speaking to understand to what extent they should see, like, to see where your perspective comes from. And Froggy TN, thank you for joining us. I appreciate the follow. Welcome to the stream. The rest of the chat will let you know. Probably not going to be talking to chat a whole lot now that the lecture has started, but thank you so much for joining us. Welcome. Okay, so answer the question, Dwarf. My name, again, is Horatius the Dwarf. I have been a VTuber for 11 months. I started in mid-December last year, and I plan on doing this for quite some time from this point onwards. I've been a 3D model the whole time. I started just sort of lurking in the VTubing community on Twitter for just a little bit while I waited for my model to get made. I did not make a grand entrance with my debut. I just literally, the day I got my $35 model off of Fiverr, I 100% started streaming that week with no song and dance, no fanfare. I got right into it. I got started on my grind in making content and being entertaining for strangers on the internet. So before we go any further, I think it's really, really important that we all understand the version of the word of VTubing and VTuber that I'm using, because we're going to be using this term a lot. And this term, VTuber and VTubing, the noun and the verb versions of the concept, are just very specific. And the big problem, and this is a massive problem, and anybody in chat who's in the VTubing community, I think, will be able to confirm this. The VTubing community itself does not agree on how to define a VTuber. There is no global blanket agreement on what this word means. So this is how I am going to be. This is my definition of the word VTuber, and what I think you have to do to be a VTuber. I defined a VTuber thusly: anyone who uses any avatar to represent themselves to their audience that it is not their own body and identifies as a VTuber. Which I understand that a lot of people are going to have a little bit of a hard time choking down a definition that uses the word in it. That's kind of... Would you add primarily to that? I would not. Because to me, if somebody... let's take a content creator, shall we? Let's take a content creator that 50% of the time uses a webcam and 50% of the time uses a PNG or a 2D or 3D representation of themselves on stream. But even when they're webcamming, if they primarily are in this character that they are using as a facet for them, that to me is a VTuber, provided that they, of course, still identify as a VTuber. Code Miko is a classic example to me when it comes to this concept. Code Miko primarily has the Miko outfit, look, and appeal. And that's the avatar that they most of the time use. To me, the 50% of this definition is the fact that they identify as one. And I don't want to divert from this whole topic and get political, but I also feel that way about other things. If you identify as it, then I think that's a very massive aspect of whether or not you are it. So I think that VTuber is a very slippery term, and it gets thrown around a lot, and very few people seem to agree on what the fuck it means. So, for the purposes of this lecture, when I say a VTuber, I am referring to somebody who uses an avatar to represent themselves to their audience that is not their own body, and they identify themselves as a VTuber. In addition, the action Vtubing is the action of creating content while you are your VTuber character. For example, if I chose to make a new account on Twitter or on Discord or on Twitch or YouTube or anywhere, and I made content as myself as I am in the real world, I would not consider that I'm doing VTubing at that point. Yeah, the term is very loaded. So, but if I, am my Horatius self, then at that point, any content that I'm creating at that point, I'm VTubing. So, let's cut to the quick here, everyone. What exactly is the topic that we're discussing today, and why do I think it's important for us to talk about it? The topic is, and the sort of topic statement is this quote: "Women have it easier than men at VTubing." So that is the statement. I have seen this almost exact same sentence dozens of times over my almost a year as a VTuber. I've seen it come from people who identify as men, people who identify as women. I've heard it spoken by non-binary people. Every time I see it, it's not that it's always from the same demographic of people. This concept has been around ever since I started VTubing, and I'm sure it predates me. But I see it with some regularity and have since I started. Now, I want to break this concept down to its essentials and tell you guys how I interpret this statement. Because, let's be fair here, the statement, "women have it easier than men at VTubing," is nebulous. It's not specific. It doesn't make any fucking sense under any respectable scrutiny, and it literally can mean whatever the fuck you want it to mean. Does it mean that women have an easier time getting a model made than men in VTubing? Does it mean that women have an easier time being, brought in by HoloLive than men? Like, the fact that this statement is such a divisive one, and it also makes it's not concise, is so very frustrating to me. And it's literally one of the main reasons why I hate it so much. So, this is what this statement is saying to me. When I read this sentence, this is how I interpret it. I read it as, women have an easier time becoming popular due to simps and make more money more quickly because of thirsty losers online. That's how this reads to me. This sentence is attacking women for having an easier time in the content creation sphere than men because the only audience online is a bunch of sweaty nerds with a lot of money that want to spend it on anime titties. And I'm not yet in the part of this lecture where I'm going to be full on delivering my perspective on the matter. I want to first get through as much objective, fact or, my professional perspective as I can. And then at the end, before we do the Q&A, I will be full out delivering my personal opinion on this matter. That said, in one sentence, I will tell you that I do not agree with this sentiment. So, in case you are all thinking that I've trapped you here to tell you that women have it easier, that is not how I feel. But we will expand on that concept at the end of the lecture. Also, why am I talking about it? I see this topic on social media platform threads mainly. I see it on Twitter. I see it in some Discords that I'm not a part of anymore. I've seen it on YouTube comments. I've seen it in Twitch chats. Everywhere that I can find VTuber content, fucking 4chan, which is a den of cesspit and filth and villainy to begin with, so there's no surprise there, despite how much sometimes I love that website. Every social media platform that I can find that has VTubers on it and the topic of VTubing present, I see this premise get thrown around with some regularity. Now, I will... Never mind. Moving on. Okay. So, here's the first thing that I want to talk about. This is the first part of this discussion that I'm going to sort of pull out of the slideshow in a minute, and I'm going to put on my mental health professional psych degree holding hat, and we're going to talk about psychology. Bias. I'm going to talk about bias for a while. It's a very important topic. It's, I think, essential to this conundrum. And to be able to address this issue in any meaningful way, I think it is almost required, if not definitively required, that you have an understanding and the ability to explain bias. Don't worry about the slide too much. It's just a bit. Fucking bias. Let's talk about bias. You want to talk about bias? I want to talk about bias all damn day. Can we talk about biases? I got a box of biases. The whole It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia bit when they get mail. It's whatever. Bias. So here's the first thing. Bias is everywhere. It surrounds us. It factually impacts everything you do. I guarantee you. I want you to think about literally fucking anything that you do. Fuck it. Post anything that you do, anything that you're comfortable discussing in chat, and I will stop this lecture and react to it if you actually post something that is not affected by your bias. It's possible, but I would be impressed if you laid it out. So before we continue, let's talk about bias. We're going to go to a rather trustworthy source. This is Simply Psychology. This is in particular focusing on confirmation bias. Let me see. Do they actually... Oh, hello? Okay. We're going to leave this webpage because I don't trust it anymore. Let's just go regular bias. Let's get a proper definition of bias. Mind Tools is a fine website. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Please, I just need... I fucking hate psychology people sometimes. They always want to talk about the cool shit that they know instead of just laying out the goddamn basics. It's really frustrating. Okay, this is it right here. So, we're going to talk about cognitive biases. Those are the main kinds of biases. Your body affects your eating habits. That is bias. There is bias in there. Your brain is part of your body. Your brain has biases. Your brain will push you to eat more at some times than others, and that is not a uniform thing. That is a series of your biases, because your choices play a role in your eating habits. So, a bias is a tendency to make decisions or take action in a logical way. That is a cognitive bias. Biases, I don't necessarily like the word illogical necessarily, because biases impact you in every way. The word prejudice often has a very nasty connotation to it, but prejudices and biases are formulaic in the structure of our behavior. These concepts are tethered to the core of the human brain, and are... Oh, man, no, don't do this. Not today. Not today. Okay. Son of a bitch. This is not fucking allowed. It's not allowed. Yeah. All right. Fine. I know the word fucking. I can talk about bias well enough without. Don't do this to me. All right. Okay. I think we're good. My only language here, on my language, there are so many definitions. Okay. So bias, is when you have previous understanding and previous knowledge of a situation and it impacts you in a way and it impacts your decision making. That is the simplest way I could put it. So I'm mentioning bias here, and I think it's very important to this topic because biases are okay. I think that bias plays a huge factor in this topic. I think that when we look at stuff like confirmation bias is this particular form of cognitive bias where you believe something to be true, and then let's say you say, I think that red bouncy balls bounce higher than blue bouncy balls. And then you have a red bouncy ball and a blue bouncy ball in your left and right hand, respectfully. Okay? You throw both balls at the ground, and they both bounce up. You do this 10 times. Let's say 7 out of the 10 times, the red ball bounces higher than the blue ball. Now, do you know for a fact that the ground that you bounce these balls on is the same density, where that would make an impact on the physics of the balls bouncing? Do you know that the balls themselves are made of the same exact construction? Do you know that the amount of force that you apply to both of the balls is the same? All of these things are immediately not considered and get thrown to the wayside because your confirmation bias is too busy focusing on the fact that you were correct. Yeah, don't forget you have a dominant hand. Exactly. So confirmation bias often will blind us to making decisions and taking actions that sort of agree with what we already think is true. Confirmation bias is very effective at helping you look past opposing points of view and opposing data because, well, I saw what I was looking for. So I won't look any further. I won't do any more research. I won't consider other perspectives of this problem. So I think that bias has a massive impact on this problem. I think that bias almost by itself causes this problem to exist. But that's, again, just my professional perspective. Let's talk about self-fulfilling prophecy next. So self-fulfilling prophecy is going to sound very similar to confirmation bias. Actually, these little images are actually really perfect for this. Let's look at this one. No, that one is weirdly cropped. Perfect. Give me the image in a new tab. Thank you. So this is the self-fulfilling prophecy, also known as the Pygmalion effect. No one's going to ask you to ever know what the fuck the Pygmalion effect actually stands for, except for, of course, your psychology professor who's trying to get you to fuck up a question. So you may notice a couple of things about this little thing. Self-fulfilling prophecies are cycles. They're circular. Let's start with our belief here on the left. So the self-fulfilling prophecy concept and the Pygmalion effect states that our beliefs influence our actions, which impacts others' beliefs about us and causes their actions towards us to reinforce our beliefs. I think that self-fulfilling prophecy plays a very notable role in this conundrum, especially in this current era. I think self-fulfilling prophecy is a very easy fallacy to fall into. I think that every person has a little bit of this going on in their mind all of the time. And I think you cannot underestimate the power of the human brain to do things incorrectly. It is very impactful to see something that you're expecting to happen, and then confirmation bias can take hold, and you will not pursue a more complex answer to your problem. Confirmation bias and self-fulfilling prophecies sound similar, but are working in tandem to prohibit you from considering more complex answers to questions that you have written off as being answered already. I think that self-fulfilling prophecy plays a very big role in this conundrum because it's relevant to this issue. Because when you take the premise of self-fulfilling prophecy and you apply it to this statement, women have an easier time becoming popular due to simps and make more money more quickly because of thirsty losers. All you have to do to have this self-fulfilling prophecy come through is look online. Look at the top streamers on Twitch that are Vtubers. Look at, oh my god, Iron Mouse has blah 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 concurrence right now. This Male Vtuber, look at his concurrent right now. They're not even comparable. And in that exact moment, you are correct. But again, the issue here is that there are many, many overlapping and layered factors that are not being properly considered in this moment. So, it's cherry pick. There's a lot of problems with it. History of VTubing as I know it. Let's talk about VTubing history, shall we? VTuber origin, as by Wikipedia, is a digital trend that originated in Japan in the mid 2010s. So you guys can maybe think back to your Hatsune Mikus. You can think back to your oh my goodness, what's her name? Virtual AI. It's like virtual. It's an A name. Fuck, I'm spacing on it. Doesn't matter. The point is, early VTubers existed for several years now. Kazumi AI. Thank you, Otis. Thanks, guys. So VTubing, to some degree or another, has been around for, I'm not going to say a decade, but it's been around for quite a while. Let's say 7 or so years. And at this point in the early 2020s, it's becoming quite the boom online phenomenon. I don't know the exact dates of all of the major VTubing groups out there, like HoloLive, which we'll be looking at more in a few minutes. But there is a lot of VTuber groups out there that have been going for a couple of years now, and they are I will point out that they have definitely made an impact on this coming to the forefront of the awareness of the internet at large. So the history of VTubing is a short one. It's not been around for very long, and VTubing as we know it today, I would argue, is very much in its nascent state. It is only a couple of years old. There are people out there who make the Die Hard is a Christmas movie comparison by saying the annoying orange is a VTuber. I don't inherently disagree with that premise. It's a complicated thing, but blah, blah, blah. The point is that people have been using avatars to represent themselves for a long time in online content creation. One of my favorite YouTubers out there is a guy named Arlo, Arlo. And Arlo is represented as a blue, fuzzy Muppet, and he likes to talk about video games, Nintendo games especially. And you know what? I'm going to put it out there that I think Arlo is one of the longest running big name VTubers in the fucking biz. But that's just a silly and fun, statement that I've been making for a while now. Getting back on point. So the history of VTubers, I think, is really important. The VTubing concept has a lot of baggage from its previous incarnations. This is something that I've said before. VTubing, as we know it today, was preceded by Hatsune Miku and Kazuna AI, those characters which were preceded by the idol culture of Japan and other countries. And idol culture is fucking toxic. If you don't know anything about idol culture and you're interested in the VTubing world, I cannot stress enough that you need to spend a couple of hours and just dive headfirst and learn about idol culture. There are movies about it. There are documentaries about it. There is so many things that you can go and look at and learn about the idol culture. And the more you learn about idol culture, I promise you, the more everything about VTubing begins to make sense. To me, in my experience and my understanding, VTubing is the digital maturation of the physical idol culture. And 2D is the biggest male VTuber. I'm with that. All right, let's look at some data, because I think that I've been giving a lot of my professional experience on some psychological topics. I've done my best to relate those psychological topics to this conundrum. I've relayed out to you guys what this conundrum is and how we got here. But let's look at some data to actually see if I can back up any of the claims that have been laid out up to this point. First things first. There are two major platforms. There are many others, but there are two major platforms that it comes to streaming platforms. There is Twitch and there is YouTube. There are many others, like I said, but I think that we can all agree that it's pretty fair to say that those two are the two largest platforms. And we will look at Twitch first. So, there is a really nice handy piece of an image out there that I didn't find right now, but we can just look at the most popular English Twitch streamers at this time this month. We can look at most popular, highest peak viewership, fastest growing, most watched. So we just have most popular, which is a little bit less, little bit nebulous. Oh, this is the web page that's slowing my fucking stream down. All right, we got to close this tab. But hopefully my stream doesn't crash. Okay, here we go. Hello? Hello? Base God? Okay, closing that tab. Hopefully stream didn't die. Thank you for holding with me. But yeah, so look at this list. Ninja, Orenplay, Tifu, Rubius, Shroud, XQC, The Greg, iBuy, Pokimane. To my understanding, Pokimane is the first female or female-presenting person on this list, and she is number 9. Where's your ad block, bro? We can get into that later. My point is, I think that you can look at these usernames and see how, while women and women, female presenting at birth people, they have a presence in the top list of streamers, and that's fucking awesome. But it is not the norm, and it is by far not the majority. I think that's a very important piece of data to look at. Thank you, Willa. Second Amarat is at 25. Okay, so first of all, I can hear you all say very rationally, Horatius, those were streamers. Let's look at VTubers, because this is a VTuber topic, right? Oh my goodness. Firefox, thank you. So, top 5 VTubers on Twitch. Code Miko, Iron Mouse, Nyanners, Vabe, Silvervale. These are all ladies. These are all women. Here's something that I want to point out about this piece of data. I mean, aren't VTubers sort of common? Okay, so I want to go to HoloLive because a lot of the names that we just looked at are not in HoloLive. They're in another group, VShojo. But let's look at, I think that we can all agree that HoloLive is one of the largest VTubing groups out there. And so I want to look at HoloStars, the boys. Yeah, so HoloLive. I think that you guys will probably recognize a fair amount, if not all of these people on the screen right now. We have Mori Calliope. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher these names because I literally don't know these people very well at all. Takanashi, Ninome, Guar, Cirez, Tsukumo, Iris, Watson, Oru, Nanashi, Hakos. Is on YouTube, which was that site mostly Twitch data? That site was entirely Twitch data. So we're sort of shifting gears here. Then we have HoloStars, another group within HoloLive that is all men. Aragami, Astel, Kashino, Yokuko, Kageyama, Rika, Aruan Daisu, hope I said that right, Kanade, and Hanasaki. So these are like all massive names, and there are groups that, you know, are pretty equal in size. I don't know the data for all of these people in terms of their respective fellowships, but the idea that men have it more difficult, I think, falls apart when you look at the larger groups. This is an article that came out in Dextero.com in October. Niji Shanji's Kozuha becomes YouTube's largest VTuber. Bias is also sampling bias. HoloStars is purely Japanese. Right. Fun fact, Miko and Mouse, as they are, not even the top 200 broadcasters of Twitch. Exactly. So, again, some of this is anecdotal. Again, like, what do you... okay. So this is Ninja Shanji. This is the group that we were just looking at. I'm pulling here that, you know, this is all ladies. Korean, which is KR, I believe. You know, there's a mix of group here. I'm sort of losing the thread, so let me back up a step. I want to point out a couple of things when it comes to comparing the large names of the large groups. More research is required. I did not give this as much time as it needs, and I'm sure that's probably pretty obvious in the data I've been displaying. I would love to be able to give this topic the research that I think it deserves. I would love to reach out to some of these large names and ask for data. But when I look at what is readily available to us, what I find is, and I see some people in chat commenting on it, there is a notable difference in, like, for example, the HoloStars versus HoloLive, right? The HoloStars guys probably do not have as big of a population or a big as a, like, community around them as HoloLive's biggest idols. I do want to point out, though, that there is still more things to discover and that there are variables that we don't have access to, or that at the very least I don't know. I don't know when HoloLive started. I don't know when HoloLive EN started. I don't know when HoloStars started. I do not know the start dates. I do not know the investments made in each of these projects. And if we cannot discern how much money and like marketing and advertisements and effort has gone into these groups and these individuals, it's I think it's unfair to make the assessment that an entire category defined by their the way they present, male or female, that one of those categories of people has it easier than the others. I want to go back, before we move on, I want to go back to this initial statement. I want to look at this breakdown of the premise. Women have an easier time becoming popular due to simps and make more money more quickly because of thirsty losers online. I will never make the declaration that there is not some truth to this idea that when people use one of the oldest marketing mechanisms available, sex sells concept, that there are going to be demographics of audiences who are vulnerable to that. But here's my problem with this concept that I think really needs more attention. This entire idea is built on the idea that the analytics of these websites, these streaming websites, that I don't know the answer to this question, are primarily heterosexual men. Or, I guess in particular that, but also, homosexual women who would find women characters sexy and appealing because of that. I don't know what the analytics for the user base of these streamer websites are. But this concept, this statement, I think is flawed initially because it assumes that the audience of these websites is predominantly going to be sexually attracted or just attracted, period, to these models. That I think is the core the core problem of this, is that it's making a very large assumption about the audience of VTubers. And things that I have learned about the VTubing community since I started being a member of it is that the VTubing community, at least the English one, I can't speak for the others, it is a very, very diverse group of people. It is a very LGBT plus friendly space. It is a very highly populated LGBTQ plus space. And so when I look through that lens, when I look at that concept, that makes me not see this issue the way that this premise lays it out. Now, I feel like we've left data behind. I wanted to talk about LGBT identification and, heterosexual, homosexual, and how the people of America identify sexually. But I feel like I've sort of left that point behind, so let's just focus. Let's go back into the slideshow. So, here's my take. This is me giving my biased perspective. This is I've laid out everything that I know so far about this concept, this problem. This is my take. I want to make it super duper clear that we are no longer talking about any facts. This is anecdotal. This is my personal experience. This is just me. I think that there are undeniably manipulative, abusive and horrible people on this website, on YouTube, on every other Twitch, or on every other streaming out there, in every other form of content creation that exists. I think that there are people who take my beloved field of psychology and the practices of it and the things that we've learned through it and bend their audiences to their will to make the most money out of them that they can and wring them dry. And I think that those people are sociopaths. I do not think the average person who is in VTubing is like that. I do not think that the average streamer is like that. I do not believe that the average content creator of any kind is like that. But if, from my personal experience of the world's climate today, that approach to content creation is becoming more common than ever. And the biggest thing, if you all take nothing else away from this lecture, the biggest thing I want to put in your ears is this. Every single one of you needs to take it very seriously where you receive your entertainment from. Because there are a lot of bad actors out there. And there are a lot of people of all kinds of perspectives trying to convince you of all different kinds of things that are trying to convince you of their way of thinking. And to no small extent, I'm doing that right now. I'm trying to hope that, with all of my heart, that you guys that have enjoyed this stream today have come here, have listened to what I've shared, and are going to walk away either questioning your perspective or considering mine. I want you guys to think about that if you happen to be male, or presenting as male, or however you want to word it, in the VTubing space, that you are not at an outright disadvantage because of that fact alone. I think, and this is not to reduce this very complex issue, I think that the people who excel in this form of content creation, I think that people who really blow up out of nowhere are the people who put a lot of time into making content. They are the people who do something new, they do something fun, they do something that is attracting of people. I think that they put in a lot of hours, and I mean fucking hours, into doing what they do. They have an understanding of marketing. They have savvy business takes. They diversify. They are constantly engaging with their community and their base. They're posting TikToks. They're posting Twitch. They're streaming on Twitch. They're streaming and posting on YouTube. They're engaging on Twitter. They're going on all these other platforms. They're constantly engaging with this project that is content creation. Nisugiru, sorry. I want to comment on that. Sex can sell. Hard work always does. It always does. It might not always get found, but the moment it does, it sells. Every time. Look through all of human history, you find a place, you find a person, you find a time where someone's making high quality shit and doing it well, and they excel. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels a little bit. So let me try and bring this back around. As short as I can put it, being successful at content creation is not simple. It's never been simple. It's never been easy. From people doing telegrams to people doing radio shows to people making video media to people, doing TV, to doing movies, to acting of any kind, to the ancient years of the stage play back in the Colosseums and theaters of yore. It's never been easy. There's always a way in. There are many strategies, and I will not sit here and tell you that I know that one of them is the best. If any of you guys out there are content creators, there's always a new hustle. It's a very rabid world, and I don't think that the premise that your gender or that your body type or whatever will dictate your success. I don't think that respects the complexity of this problem enough. So now I think, yeah. Now I'm gonna end this and open it to a Q&A. If you guys have any questions or any additional perspectives that you'd like to put out there, I at this point open the floor to you guys to engage in this question. And I want to hear your guys' point of view. Vortalblade? No, you did not come into drama. You came into the tail end of a lecture where I've been talking about for about an hour now, being a male VTuber and how I don't believe that that's a disadvantage. I think that main premise, to sort of recapitulate the past hour, that premise underappreciates the complexity of success. And I also want to put this out there as just like a little thing to chew on. When we say success, that's a little bit unspecific. And what people I think are most talking about when this situation is numerical success, financial success. Okay, let's see here. What I will ask is to broach the sticky subject. If sex sells, then does it make it going the route of showing an audience what they find attractive easier than putting hard work in another area? So that question I don't disagree with, Nesugiru. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't outright disagree with that. Sex sells, I think, is a very reasonable approach now to being successful. Nisu works, cool. That said, I think that I like that you were kind of gender neutral with your statement there, because honestly, fucking men's sex sells also works. There are, shit, man. There are so many, I think that for every dude out there who's thirsty to look at some anime titties, there's a lady out there who wants to look at sexy man abs. I think that's there. I think it's there. Not to mention, the non-binary of that, NB people who like either or both, bisexual, pansexual people. Sex sells does not just sell sex of the female variety to the male variety. It's all of it. How scummy is it for you when a streamer content creator intentionally channels the GFE/BFE thing or any sort of parasocial relationship aspect for success? I don't know what those acronyms stand for. I'm so sorry. If you could explain that, I'd appreciate it, but I think I get the question. To answer it, how scummy do I think it is when someone uses those sort of manipulative parasocial relationships to siphon support out of their fan base, boyfriend-girlfriend experience? Yeah, I think it's really scummy. I think it's abusive. I think it is manipulative. And whenever I see people apply those strategies, I'm very critical of it. There are people that I have personally met in VTubing that do that shit, and I don't openly associate with them anymore. And to be honest, I think that what that is very there's a line, right? It's kind of a spectrum, right? So I'll be super duper open. A very big aspect of what I do here is dad experience, if I'll borrow the term. I'm very fatherly to the people that are in my community. I'm very like doting and caring and protective of you guys. I that's how I interact with my community very often. I don't ever use that to siphon support out of you. I don't ever use that relationship to manipulate people. I don't think that doing the boyfriend-girlfriend experience on the baseline is bad. I think that when you take that relationship and corrupt it by abusing what you've established, the rapport you've built with your people, that is where I find it super scummy. Let's see. I can't tell you how many male VTubers I follow because I find their models hot. Yeah, I mean, that's real, dude. Isn't the MCU marketing based around Bara fan service sometimes? I don't know what Bara is, so sorry. But yes, I mean, every marketing campaign has some fan service in it, I think, at some point. Thank you for the lurk, Mom on Orc. Appreciate it. Horatio says dad vibes. It's true. Thank you, Vortal, for the sub. I really, really do appreciate it. And now that we're sort of out of the lecture, I'm actually going to do the call-outs and stuff. From the beginning, Froggy Tyran, Zard Roka, Eisenhorn. Eisenhorn? That's actually really fun to say like that. Phantom Flan, Savage Dragoon, Nisu, and Mailetta. Thank you all for following. Now that you're followers, you're no longer strangers loitering outside the mountain home. You're welcome guests in the mine. Thank you very much for it. And Vortal Blade, now that you are subscribing, you are no longer just someone... you're not a welcome guest in the mine anymore. You're now in the employ of the mountain home. So grab your pickaxe and get back to work. Bara or Beefy Man. Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. You mean like flirting and making viewers feel like they have a chance with you and make them feel like they have a bigger chance if they throw money at you? Yeah, I think that's sort of what's happening here. And again, the first part of that sentence, Ringo, I don't think that's innately bad. I don't think that it is innately a abusive thing to be flirtatious with people. I think that it can be done in a very safe and very fun way. This is only tangentially related, but like I support sex workers. Now, granted, that's not what's going on right here. But yes, exactly, Zard Roka. It's for when it's for profit. It's for when you go. Ara, and ooh, you gave $5. I'm gonna whisper in your ear and make your cock tingle or your other sex parts, aroused. Like, that is when I think that it starts to become abusive. When you pull and prey on people's vulnerabilities, to take from them. Just tell people not to support you and be really bad at accepting your own value. Yeah, there you go, Cab. The you and I approach and many others. Bring on the filthy dwarf. Listen, man, Vortalblade, if you go to my fucking Twitter right now, there's a very sexy picture of me out there. So, consider it. The humble brag, yes. Well, I don't know. Humble brag can sometimes come off like that. I said flirty, but now I need to check. Well, there you go. Good luck. So, yeah. Again, if anyone has any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We're sort of just vibing and hanging out at this point, but... Yeah, Nisu, I completely agree. Cab, let me talk about Cab for a second, because he's here, and... No, fuck it. I'll fanboy. I don't give a shit. Cab... fucking lurked in the VTubing community for months. He did his research. He learned about what was successful. He followed, the trends. He learned. I watched this motherfucker learn the math, and then when he busted onto the scene, I remember when I still had more followers than his punk ass, and he played the game right. He hustled fucking hard, and he made it happen. This has been something going for a long time in Cab's mind. This has been something he's been planning for a very long time. Longer than I've known him, and I'm aware of that fact. And you know what? I'm proud of him. He worked hard. He made it happen. He manifested that shit. What do the number mean, Cab? I don't know. Does the question have to be about the lecture? I suppose it doesn't, Iron Core. I'd like it to be about the lecture, but if it's somewhat related, that would be fine too. But yeah, lay it down, Iron Core. Cab has nailed the atmosphere of his streams. He got it right. He got the right people to get the resources he wanted, and damn, did he turn out well. Yeah, I honestly look at Cab. I look at people like Akami Habiko. I look at Usagi-chan. Like, these are people who hit the fucking ground running, played the game, sometimes by their own rules, but fucking networked and hustled and sweated and made shit happen. Are there drawbacks to blowing up and getting big? Absolutely, Zard. 100%, my dude. Absolutely. So in my experience, there's a lot of problems. Corsair, thank you for that. Here's some of the problems of getting too big too quickly for you to handle, because that's the problem, right? It's not you got too big too quickly. It's like how I say for dwarves. People come in here and be like, "Ha, Horatius, you ever dig too deep and too greedy?" I'm like, no, dwarves don't dig too deep or too greedily. Certain dwarves have personally dug too deep and have dug too greedily. If you get a lot of growth and you don't know how to handle it, and you're not ready for the responsibility that comes with that audience, you can lose everything and have to start over again. I'm going to continue to use... Cab, is it okay if I continue to use you as an example, please? If it's not, I'll find somebody else or just talk about somebody nebulously. While I wait for Cab. Go for it, bud. Thank you. Cab blew up very quickly, in terms of, like, generally speaking. He's been streaming for a while now. Absolutely. But he blew up, but he had a plan. Like, he had assets prepared. He had emotes ready. He had, he had a character. He has a plan. He has an idea of what to do every time he hits these new thresholds. I almost guarantee you, and Cab, you don't have to confirm this, that he knows what he's going to do for his entire first year of VTubing. I wouldn't even be surprised if he has a plan for year 2 already. Let's see. Oh, welcome, Mithril. Thank you. How do you handle it carefully, Ringo asks. That's a very important, how do you drop the ball and lose everything when you blow up? Let me put it this way. Let's say you're 3 months into streaming and everything goes crazy good, and you finish your long-running speed run of Super Mario 64. I'm just going really, really simple here. You get the world record, you fucking blow up overnight, you all of your numbers go through the goddamn roof, and then, well, shit, what do you do? What do you do next? How do you keep your audience interested in the things that you're doing? Shit, man, you just made partner. What do you mean you don't have enough emotes for all of the emote slots? What do you mean you don't have channel point incentives? What do you mean you haven't done a giveaway? What do you mean you don't have another outfit ready? Like, the more you grow, the greater the expectations become of your audience on you. You have to think about those things. You have to think about everything. Let's see here. Let me catch up a little bit. It's kind of moving quickly. I feel like it's lots of small streamers that don't think ahead about that sort of stuff and how to handle certain things. Absolutely. I guarantee you there are streamers out there that if I rated them right now with 22 viewers, they would not know how to handle that. That would be too much for them, and they wouldn't be able to address that. And I think I'm kind of small potatoes, you know? Like, I watched fucking Cab raid somebody today who had single-digit viewers and then suddenly had 200 fucking people in their chat. And they handled it amazingly. That person was kick-ass. But But that stuff is rough for people. The biggest problem going too fast is the momentum can carry the producer more than the producer carries the work. That is a fantastic way to put it. Exactly. I've seen many, many people struggle with burnout because they excel and excel and excel, and then the expectations outpace what they can handle. Not used to multiple greetings. What's up? Nice. Need to head out. Thanks for the discussion. Thank you, Nisu, for being here. Thank you again for the follow. I hope you had a great time, and I look forward to having you on future streams. Thanks for being here. Any tips for a hobbyist VTuber, like for people who are mostly in it for fun? This is going to be really, really unspecific, so I'm sorry if this is not very helpful to you, Zard. Have fun. If you're not having fun, don't fucking do it. The amount of time you have on this planet and the consciousness that you currently know and probably love is fucking limited. If you're not enjoying the things that you're doing, do something else with your time. That is the best thing that I can tell you. So, let's see. Any tips for, like for people who mostly just fun? Yeah, just do it for fun. Stream games that you like. Do shit that you find enjoyable. That's all you gotta do. Like, those are the requirements. Fucking tell stories that you love telling to a chat of 0 fucking people. Fuck it. Have fun. A bit of a delay on mobile, so my input's lagging behind. Oh, dude, no worry. Core circuit, you're doing great. It's an upward curve of complexity. Yeah. So unless you're strapped for cash to turn around all those things you need quickly, yes. It'd be a really, really bad idea to take out a loan just to handle that. Agreed. We eat both small potatoes, but our brain's big. Thanks, Mithril. Horatius, you remind me of a discussion I had earlier today. TLDR, someone was saying they have a goal of partner but only get 2 viewers. Yeah, you have to have a plan. I have a plan for year 2, and it's going to be something that I talk about in my 12-14 stream coming up in 2 weeks, where I'm going to lay out what my expectations were for year 1, how I've smashed like almost all of them. And then that's going to help me build what the plan is for year 2. And that's why I stifled my own growth and not taking opportunities that are presented behind the scenes. Yes, Cab, it's literally shit I've done too. Okay, here's the thing. Content creation is wild because it's literally your ship and you do it how the fuck you want to. No one's telling you how to succeed. Those thresholds are on you. What you call success in content creation is entirely on your shoulders. You know, I know I've looked at opportunities that I have walked away from because I didn't want to grow that way. I have chosen to grow slowly and steadily this entire year because that's how I wanted to do it. That's how I wanted to find the kind of people that I knew I would attract doing it that way into this stream, into this community that I know that I would want to keep around. You want to know something fucking awesome? I've had to ban 3 fucking people in this entire year. 3 people that weren't bots. It's crazy. I've been in single streams and watched 10 people get banned for being inappropriate or shitty. How you play this game is essential. Millions of strategies work. There is no secret ingredient to being a content creator. I told them partner is great, but I told them that they need to focus on improving themselves as a streamer in their streams instead of focusing on being a partner. Exactly. If you focus on the raw numerical requirements to be partner, you're going to miss a lot of the building blocks along the way because then you'll make partner and you won't be able to, maintain those numbers. And that's going to kick your dick in. I've seen people hustle for partner. One of the requirements to be partner on Twitch, by the way, for those who don't know, is 75 average viewers. I watched them hit partner, and then their average fucking plummeted because they stopped doing the hustle that they were hustling because that was it was killing them. Let's see. Sorry, I'm a bit delayed on mobile. That is so true. What's most important is have fun. True. Even when you have a plan and you know you need all those emotes and assets and fun stuff, but you're far more cash strapped than you can handle. What now? Do with what your means will allow. Which is, pretty for do what the fuck you can. People are impressive in their ingenuity. They will always find an answer for their problems when desperation comes knocking. So if you have fucking $200 to put into becoming a content creator, and you have to buy a microphone and a headset and a webcam and a model and assets and, you know, all this other shit. Fucking, what games are you streaming? Like, you got to buy all that shit. And you got to figure that out. And you got to find out where those finances are coming from. You know, that's a problem that I've had to deal with in this first year. Fuck, I started this when I was unemployed, you know, from the pandemic. Shout outs to that. So, like, wherever money can't solve, your sweat and your blood has to make do. How you achieve that, that's up to you. I can have a sip of coffee for a second. Let's see here. Da-da-da-da. My plan is 5 followers. 5 followers is awesome. Fucking do that shit. Make it happen. I'd love to see that. I wonder how much you actually plan these things. A lot. I would say that I only put, honestly, 2 hours of work into this presentation. I put 12 hours in the past week of thought and planning into this stream. And outside of, like, a couple hundred bits, like, I'm not making a lot of money at this stream. I don't necessarily want to make a lot of money with this stream. That's never been my interest. But my point is, when you break it down, I worked, let's say, 12 hours, and I made $2 fucking dollars. If you had a job, and they were like, I'll pay you $12 over the course of half of a week's worth of work, you'd quit that job before you even got fucking hired. So, like, it's rough, but you like an artist, you gotta consider what your time is worth. The best advice essentially for streamers is to be authentic and do what you like. That's the best strategy to make your work genuine and keep burnout from not only ruining your progress but becoming obvious to your audiences. The longer that you put on a mask that isn't true to what you want, the quicker people become divorced from their work and see it as a labor more than a love. Yeah, I couldn't really agree with that anymore. That's an amazing statement, Core Circuit. That is almost exactly how I have perceived this entire process up to this point. And honestly, anyone who wants to get in content creation, you have to think of it in those ways. If you are not enjoying what you are doing, that will come through. People will see it. They will know. People are not stupid. Ringo, thank you so much for the follow. You are also no longer a loiterer outside my mountain home, but now welcome guest to the mine. To quote a mentor figure of mine, love the art in yourself more than yourself in the art. And that's something I believe carries into content creation like a golden rule. I completely agree. My strategy is the clown the problem players hard, Kappa. Thanks, Mithrodickie. You really bring in the cream of the crop. There was a secret sauce guaranteed strategy behind being a content creator is a dead market. Exactly. It's the Wild West. It really, really is. When the market is stable, it's crab walking, is when it's not going to be too viable or growth is a death spiral. Yeah. Honestly, what's making me feel better over not becoming affiliate/partner because I don't know how to do the process. Yeah, and Zard, that comes from research, whether thinking about it yourself, studying other people, asking. There's a fucking problem in this community in terms of content creation of people not wanting to ask fucking questions. Ask questions. Fucking DM people. Post on social media. Ask questions. People want to share. They really do. Every time I see people ask questions, they get that question answered. It's not always the best answer, but it's fucking answers. Let's see here. Let me catch up a little bit. Also, hit start stream before every single one of those things. It's surprisingly intimidating and a hell of a showstopper. Correct, Pebble. I'd argue that learning skills when creating content is honestly more exciting than any other circumstances. Yeah, gaining skill sets is the most dank shit you can do with your fucking time on this rock. I like small streamers. I feel like small streamers often complain so much but don't take a lot of effort to plan and improve. That's definitely a thing that happens, and it's a fucking problem. But I didn't want to reduce this whole situation to the answer that I see a lot on Twitter in particular of, fucking male VTubers don't have it harder. You're just a salty little boy, and like sometimes they are, but that's not helping anybody. Just telling them work harder doesn't help them. It doesn't help people learn how to be better. And that's what I want to do here. That's why I hope I've accomplished for you guys today. Also, Core Circuit, also, thank you very much for the follow. You are now also no longer just some fucking weirdo loitering outside my mountain home, but now welcome guest into mine. Some people just sell their blood. Yeah, fucking that happens. Like video editing, image editing, streaming software, even coding, you're into it personally. Yeah, dude, when I started doing this, I had a friend of mine who was big into Twitch for like years. And he came over to my house, and we literally spent an entire afternoon. I bought him pizza and beer. And he taught me how to use OBS. He taught me how to interact with Twitch. He taught me how to set up better Twitch TV. He told me about Chatterino. Like, and then I had to engage with Google searches and asking VTubing communities, like, where do I get a model? How do I get a model? How do I use this model? Like, there's a fucking dumb game on my Steam list that has hundreds of hours in it because it's the program I used to use to stream my model, and it fucking sucked, and half of it was in Japanese. I couldn't read it. And I found VC Face. Let's see. There's such a good way to think about success. When I get rich, I'll bring you all with me. Exactly. Correct, Otis. My friends will be shit poster mafia. The scary thing about asking questions is giving people fake advice. True. Finance words, the crab walk stability, late adopters and laggards. Hell yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like today I was hurting. I love making content, but I ended stream early because I know, even being a consummate actor, my show is not going to be the best if I'm not feeling good. Folks know it's true. People see that. Cab, I will fucking call you out. I have been in your streams, and I can tell when you're not feeling it, man. Like, and that's everybody. Every streamer I've ever watched. If I regularly watch their streams, I can go in there and I can tell. I can tell in like 20 minutes or less. Man, this dude's not into it today, or he's not feeling great. I have canceled streams because I wasn't feeling up to it, because I knew I wasn't going to fucking put forward the kind of quality content that I try and make here. Working hard without learning only leads to burnout. Working hard without learning can lead to burnout, and I would say inevitably does if nothing changes. But working hard without learning has potential. I don't know. I guess, yeah, Zard. I was gonna say, like, working hard without learning makes you learn, and I'm like, then it's not the same fucking thing. Don't be an idiot, Horatius. Work harder is for boomers who got lucky and landed in a low effort cushy situation. Work harder. It's just like, it's not bad advice, Ringo. It's unspecific. It doesn't answer the problem. I need help. Work harder. How, motherfucker? What do I do to work harder? I don't know. Work harder. Well, then fucking what are we doing here? Like, Cab's a goals type of streamer for many reasons. I admire transparency. Samesies. Melly, you're a damn sweetheart, and I will never not adore you. Hell yeah. Erode you? Adore. Okay. Do I need to follow this person real quick? Hold on. I don't know. Oh, they're adorable shit. Oh, they're so cute. Well, oh, they are neat. Sorry, I'm just like actively following people in my stream chat right now because that's where we're at today. You can work on a lot of things that doesn't amount to anything. It's important to know what you're working on and whether it actually improves what you do, which is often reduced to work smarter, not faster. Yes, correct. My goodness. You can chip away at a brick wall with a plastic spoon, and it only amuses the people who tell you work hard. Yep. I like Horatius a lot because we feel like two halves of a cookie personality-wise. Yeah, sometimes. All right, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like we are having fun, and I love the shit that we're talking about, but I also feel like we're not really... Oh, no. There we go. Bam. Saved it. No one clipped that. Yeah, so we're just vibing. So I don't really know what to do next. I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow. I want to play the new World of Horror update, which is a game that nobody knows about. It's a horror game based off of Japanese modern horror. It's really good. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I don't know. I'm just gonna play it, and I'm probably gonna stream it. Let's see. Sometimes work hard is a theater to people who say it, but don't like to get their hands messy in the same way you are right now. Exactly. Yeah, I never say work harder. I will tell people how to stack the deck in their favor, but with the caveat, it's not a promise of success. You can't promise folks that. Nothing's promised. Nothing's owed to you. Everything you got to claw and scratch and make happen. So, like, that's on you. Working smarter leads to faster. Working hard with the same old skills grinds you down. Yeah, I'm with that. To add on to that, I have a client who doesn't pay me for my work, and every time I approach them for payment, they always say, you just need to work harder first, even though they don't even pay me for my work now. The work harder advice is just aimless cop-out. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, like, work harder, it undermines the complexity of the issue. It doesn't address how much actually needs to happen to improve. There's still so much to learn. Goliath, let me tell you a little secret, buddy. Everybody does. Everybody always has shit to learn. From the most, long-running streamers in this chat to the best people in the biz. Or to someone who started streaming yesterday to the people who are at the top of the biz. Everyone always can learn. The moment you stop learning, you start failing. You gotta be a sponge, man. You gotta always be working to improve yourself. I gotta eat a slice of pizza because I'm hungry. I'm so sorry. I learned from watching this lecture. Hell yeah, Shove. Thank you. Even compared to you and Cabal, I have so much to do. We all do. I'm kind of struggling to see where to start with improving. I mean, work with people. Engage with people. Man? Like, tap me on my shoulder, and if I'm not busy, I'll help. Something like saying work hard without ever instructing how or why. No, course, I totally understood what you meant. Yeah, I think we're on the same wavelength here. I completely agree, but I do appreciate your emphasizing. I often try to be transparent ever since I started Twitch, but it can sometimes be hard due to a lot of anxiety, knowing that I'm presenting myself to the public eye. That's really fucking valid, Phantom Flan. It really is. It's important to evolve and change. I'm clearly the strongest and most handsome. I have an orb to back that up. Okay, Mithril. All right, buddy. I'm not surprised. Thank you for the amazing lecture, Horatius. It has enlightened me a bit about personal struggles I'm going through right now. That's fucking kick-ass. That's the dankest shit ever. Thank you. Thank you, Shove. You can only do the same thing for so long. Streaming space is dynamic and constantly changing. Abso-fucking-lutely. I'm going to put a little poll in chat real quick. Nope. Well, I just put an ad. Okay. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to click on that ad button. I meant to click on the poll button. My bad. I'm so sorry, guys. My goodness. How are you guys doing? You guys doing good? You guys doing well? I really do appreciate you guys being here. We back from ad. Pog. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here for the stream today. Input on what we brought up. We definitely walking away learning something. I won't take it for granted. Hell yeah. I don't want to become big or anything like that. I want to put forward the best me I can be. So, with that in mind, I'm going to ruin absolutely everything and break every rule known to Twitch kind. And I'm going to not do what the poll said. And I'm going to... we're going to raid somebody. And I'm going to go eat pizza and relax and unwind. We're going to go raid... longtime friend of the chat, Corianne VT. Short of is less intimidating. It's true. All right, everyone. Again, thank you so much for being here. I will probably be streaming tomorrow. It might be Sea of Thieves. It'll probably be World of Horror. I don't fucking know. I'm definitely going to be playing those games. Let's see if I stream. Fucking excellent usage of that, Barbarian. Thank you for that, for the reading rainbow. You guys take care. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, tomorrow, today, whatever. As always, I've been Horatius the Dwarf. I'll see you guys later, and as always, it's time to get out of my mind!